Good morning. Today we'll be walking through a full analytics-driven assessment of RetailCo, focusing on where the business is performing well, where risks exist, and most importantly, what actions will drive growth. RetailCo is a high-performing business. Revenue, margins, and marketing efficiency are all strong and above benchmark. However, the key issue we see is retention. A 53% churn rate is more than double the established benchmark. So the problem RetailCo is facing isn't generating demand, but it's converting that demand into repeat customers and long-term value. We will also focus on some key growth opportunities such as customer engagement, product expansion, and seasonal alignment of operations and marketing campaigns.
The dataset consists of four core datasets: transactions, customer demographics, inventory, and marketing. We treated missing data for transaction, delivery days, and customer satisfaction score by imputing with regional or segment level median. And for missing loyalty status and customer demographics, we chose not to treat because it's classified as missing completely at random. And we also use log transformation and capping method to normalize and standardize outliers in inventory and marketing datasets. And we believe this rigorous cleaning phase ensures our final recommendations are based on normalized and statistically sound data.
So our first step is we use principal component analysis on the transaction data set. What that means is we picked different variables that are important to us, the ones that you see on screen, and then the PCA will try to maximize the variation with these variables. So after we ran this through the algorithm, you can see that 75% of the variation was explained, and the tables show which variables contributed to that. And this is useful later when we break down our different customer segments. After using PCA to identify the variation, we used k-means clustering to group the customers based off those behaviors. And the model was able to identify two clear segments of customers. We have our high value, most profitable customers and our lower value customers. What was the determining factor between these groups is the category breadth, which means customers who shop across more categories are higher value. We ran a Pareto analysis and identified that 80% of our total revenue comes from about one third of these high value customers. Now that we know that customers who shop across multiple categories are the most valuable, we performed a customer lifetime value weighted affinity analysis to identify the most profitable category combinations. While some combinations performed better than others, the key insight is that getting a customer to purchase in even one additional category can significantly increase their lifetime value, often by 2 to 3 times. What we're looking at here is our marketing analytics dashboard. In this dashboard, we can see how well each of our channels are performing. We can break that down per year. So we can look at the most recent year. We'll see our total revenue, our total spending. We can break that down by channel. And then in the graph in the middle, we can click on the different channels and see their marketing return on investment. And then we can use this information later on when we're determining our budget.
Customers were segmented using an RFM framework and analyzed using 3-year projected CLV to compare value across groups. We saw that revenue is highly concentrated with about 33% of customers driving nearly 80% of total value. The biggest opportunity here is moving loyal and promising customers into champion behavior to scale revenue growth. Churn was analyzed using cohort retention, segment-level churn rates, and correlation analysis against key customer behaviors. The data shows that churn is significantly above benchmark and primarily driven by low purchase frequency and low spend, not by customer experience factors like satisfaction or delivery time. The biggest opportunity here is driving early repeat purchases and targeting high-risk segments to improve customer retention.
For product and category intelligence, we did a category performance metrics scoreboard and noticed that home and garden and electronics categories have the highest total revenue. We have also used Boston Consulting Group portfolio analysis and noticed that home and garden and sports are stars, clothing and electronics are cash cows, toys and books are question marks, and food and beverage and beauty are dogs. In addition, we did price elasticity of demand analysis, and for this, we looked at various methods, but we chose to use the seasonal monthly PED analysis because we noticed high seasonality in the data uh, by categorizing transactions by month. To show product intelligence in the dashboard, we created the composition tree by total revenue, and by selecting with each product category, we can see the revenue and the profits. And we also added a key influencer, and we can see what influences revenue for that product. For example, if we see that total revenue decreases when a quantity goes down by 1.45, and then the revenue will decrease by $152. For regional and geographic analysis, we created regional performance scorecard and noticed the Northeast is the leader by total revenue and revenue per customer. We have also noticed that Midwest region has the highest year-on-year revenue growth, followed by the Northeast. Based on this regional analysis, management could strategize for growth by focusing in regions like Midwest. To support the regional analysis, we created a dashboard using a decomposition tree again, and we can drill down from total revenue to a region and to a product, and we can see in what year how much revenue that product category had a revenue of. We also added a key influencer to see how delivery days is influenced. We can see that the customer region is west increases delivery days by almost 1 day.
Seasonality was analyzed using monthly seasonal indices, day of week averages, and quarterly revenue trends. The data shows consistent and predictable demand patterns with peaks in December, weaker periods earlier in the year, and stronger performance towards the weekend. Because these patterns repeat over time, they enable proactive planning across inventory, staffing, and marketing. Forecasting was performed using OLS regression with trend and seasonal components, which provided strong performance and clear interpretability. The model captures both the upward growth trend and predictable seasonal fluctuations, making short-term forecasts reliable for planning. However, uncertainty increases over time, so forecasts should primarily guide near-term operational decisions.
After calculating the marketing return on investment, we ran a simple linear optimization model with our $150,000 quarterly budget. We chose the linear optimization model because it's inexpensive, quick, and the problem fits well into a linear optimization model. We were given the marketing min and max spend, which helped determine our spend per channel.
This is the full 2024 KPI dashboard, summarizing performance across revenue, margin, and customer metrics, including key executive KPIs. Slicers enable the user to view data filtered by year, region, and product category. RetailCo is performing strongly on efficiency metrics. Marketing ROI, average order value, and repeat purchase rate all exceed benchmarks. However, churn is significantly elevated at over 50%, more than double the benchmark, and year-over-year growth is below target. This indicates the company is highly effective at monetizing existing customers, but struggling to retain and replace them at scale. This imbalance directly drives recommendations that we will dive into next.
Our first recommendation is to immediately increase the marketing budget. We need to fix our year over year growth. It's under the 12% benchmark, and the submitted budget for this year is a decrease for the first time ever. There's no evidence to support decreasing the budget since all of the marketing channels have a positive return on investment. Therefore, we're recommending that we instead increase the budget based off of the historic budget increases.
Our second recommendation is discount reduction. Our finding indicates the current discount over utilization rate 20.9% exceeds the 20% benchmark, eroding margins. And in elastic categories like clothing, books, and toys shows relatively lower price sensitivity. Strategic actions to optimize base pricing by implementing incremental price adjustment. We expect this impact to have financial gain up to 120K in annual revenue uplift.
Recommendation 3 is to reduce churn. Churn is the most current critical issue at 53%, or more than double the benchmark, indicating significant early customer drop-off. The most effective intervention is driving a second purchase within 30 to 45 days using personalized recommendations and targeted follow-ups. Because purchase frequency is the strongest driver of retention, this initiative is expected to reduce churn by up to 15% and generate up to 700K in incremental increased revenue. Recommendation 4 is to adjust operations for seasonality. RetailCo experiences significant seasonal demand swings with peaks in December and troughs in February. By aligning inventory and marketing spend to forecasted demand using the OLS model, the business can better capture peak revenue while reducing inefficiencies during low demand periods. This is expected to drive up to 150K in total annual impact through a combination of revenue gains and cost savings.
Our next recommendation is to audit our low return on investment channels and reallocate our marketing budget. We're going to see if we can improve the return on investments for channels like paid search and social media. And then we are going to look into the reallocation based off of the marketing efficiency score. So what we'll do is we'll adjust our min and max spend, taking into consideration the marketing efficiency score.
Recommendation number 6 is to strengthen loyalty. Our finding shows current key one cohort retention at 16%. This is trailing the industry standard, and we see a high churn after the first purchase. So strategic actions for short term is one to implement a progression-based loyalty program to reward customers at second and third purchases. And with these strategies, we expect retention lift by 4 to 8% and financial gain up to 480K dollars in annual revenue by improving customer lifetime value. Recommendation number 7 is to align marketing campaigns with seasonality. Our findings show growth lag with year-on-year growth of 8.3%. That is trailing the industry standard of 12% and missed peaks and predictable seasonal patterns. The strategic actions to take are: 1. To synchronize product launches and high spend marketing within peak months. 2. To right size spending during historical low demand periods to reallocate budget toward high conversion window. And with this strategy, we expect growth to accelerate by additional 2 to 3% and an estimated 270K dollar incremental annual revenue through optimized demand.
Recommendation 8 is to master the customer life cycle. To sustain retention improvements, RetailCo needs more than campaigns. It needs a system. A full customer lifecycle program would guide customers from onboarding through retention and reactivation using behavioral data and automated engagement. This creates a scalable growth engine with an expected impact of between 400 and 700K with returns of up to 8 times ROI.
In conclusion, RetailCo is not a business that needs fixing. It's a business that's ready to scale. The company already shows strong profitability, efficient marketing, and solid operations. The challenge for the business isn't generating demand, it's converting that demand into repeated customers and long-term value. We identified that increasing purchase frequency, improving life cycle engagement, and expanding cross-category buying is what drives profits. That's why our recommendations focus on these points and creates a clear, actionable path to accelerated growth.